You drift awake to the slow turning of a world that has no horizon. Above you, through a curved wall of glass, the stars do not twinkle. They burn steady and clear, sharper than anything you ever saw from the ground, and you understand at once that there is no atmosphere between you and them. You are not on Earth. You are somewhere in the long dark between worlds, and yet the room around you is warm, scented faintly with pine, alive with the soft sound of running water. You rise, and the floor meets your feet with a gentle, familiar weight. This surprises you. You are far from any planet, and still your body feels held, grounded exactly as it should. Then you see the slow curve of the chamber stretching away in both directions, rising until it becomes a ceiling that is also a floor far above your head, and you realize the truth. The entire world is turning. Gravity here is not a force the universe gave you. It is something humanity built, spun from rotation, shaped to feel like home so completely that your body never thinks to question it. You step outside into what should be a corridor and instead find a valley. A river winds through meadows that climb the curving walls of the habitat, and forests rise overhead, hanging impossibly until the curve carries them out of sight. Sunlight pours down, golden and warm, but when you trace it to its source, you find no sun. A bright filament runs the length of the world's axis, casting a light tuned so precisely to your eyes that your body believes it is morning. You breathe in, and the air is rich and clean. This whole place, you understand, is not a ship passing through space. It is a world unto itself, carrying rivers and weather and seasons across the void. A path of soft stone leads you down toward the river, and along it you pass people who move without hurry. You exchange a glance with one of them, and something in their stillness tells you they have lived a very long time. Centuries, perhaps. Out here, the human lifespan stopped being a countdown. Bodies are tended at the smallest scale, repaired continuously and quietly, so that age became a gentle plateau rather than a fall. You watch a person who might be 200 years old laughing with one who is barely 20, and neither seems separated by the gap, because here time is not something that runs out. You reach a wide clearing where the community gathers, and you discover how people here feed themselves. There are no vast machines, no factories pumping out rations. Instead, the food grows around them, woven into the living world of the habitat itself. Orchards spiral up the curving land. Fish move through the river that doubles as a garden. Nothing is wasted, because the entire world is a closed loop. Every drop of water and breath of air cycling endlessly through soil and leaf and living thing. The habitat does not consume. It sustains itself the way a forest does, only this forest was designed. You wander into a space where the young ones gather, expecting a school, and find something else entirely. There are no rows, no lessons handed down. A child sits cross-legged, shaping a model of a distant nebula in the air with her hands, asking why stars are born in clusters, and a patient presence answers her not with facts, but with another question, drawing her deeper. Each child here follows the thread of their own wonder. You realize that learning out here never stops being play, because curiosity was never trained out of them. They will spend their long lives this way, always students, always beginning something new. You follow the curve of the world upward, and a quiet transit carries you toward the axis, where the spin grows weaker and your steps grow lighter, until at last you float. Here, at the heart of the habitat, a great window opens onto everything beyond, and what you see steals the breath from you. This world is not alone. It hangs among hundreds of others, a vast constellation of turning habitats strung through space, like glowing seeds connected by slender ribbons of light. Some are small, holding a single village. Others are immense, carrying entire landscapes, mountains and lakes and skies. Between them move craft of every kind, and you understand that humanity did not leave Earth to escape it. Humanity grew the way a seed grows until a single world could no longer hold all that it had become. If this vision is awakening something in you, a sense of how far we might still travel together, take a moment to subscribe and journey onward with us. Every world we explore is a reminder of what we carry within us even now. The more of us who dare to imagine it, the more real it becomes. Let the journey continue. You drift toward the window, and the scale of it unfolds further. Beyond the nearest habitats, you see a structure that defies your understanding. A vast lattice cradling a distant star, drinking its light to power everything humanity has built across this corner of the galaxy. People here do not fear running out of energy the way their ancestors once did. They gather it directly from the fire of suns, gently, endlessly, with no smoke and no scar. The old struggle over scarcity, the fights over who gets enough, simply faded. When there is light enough for all, the reasons for so much old suffering quietly dissolve. A craft carries you outward, away from the cluster, and you pass worlds shaped to entirely different dreams. You glide past one habitat that recreated an ancient ocean, where people swim with creatures rebuilt from the deep memory of Earth. You pass another given over wholly to silence and stars, where those who seek stillness make their home. You begin to understand the deepest change of all. Out here, humanity stopped trying to agree on a single way to live. Each community shapes its own world to its own values, and yet all of them remain woven together, sharing knowledge, sharing care, bound by something gentler than borders ever were. The craft turns, and ahead of you, a planet glows with the soft blue of new oceans. It is not Earth. It circles a distant star, and it was lifeless not long ago. Now you watch storms move across young seas, and green creeping across continents that had never known life. Humanity did not conquer this world, it awakened one. And you realize that the same patient hands that tend a single garden in the habitat now tend whole planets, coaxing life across the galaxy not to dominate it, but because life, once it learns how, cannot help but spread gentleness wherever it can reach. You return at last to the turning world where you began, descending, until weight gathers around you once more and your feet meet the meadow. Evening has come to the habitat. The bright axis dims to the gold of dusk and people gather along the river to share food and quiet talk. You find a place on the grass and sit, watching the curve of the world rise softly overhead, its distant slopes glittering with the lights of homes. And it settles over you, the full weight of where you are. None of this was promised. Every turning world, every awakened planet, every long and gentle life began as something a frightened people once believed impossible. They were bound to a single fragile world, unsure they would survive their own beginning. And yet, here you sit, 10 centuries later, beneath a sky humanity made, among more life than Earth alone could ever hold. You lean back into the cool grass and look up past the river, past the forests hanging overhead, to the steady stars beyond the glass. This is what we became. Not by leaving ourselves behind, but by carrying the best of what we were outward, farther than anyone dared dream. And somewhere in the quiet, you understand that the journey is not over. It is only even now beginning.